Good evening. Now we are going to see about the types of triangles. Before that, let us see what is a triangle. Triangle is a polygon. Triangle is a polygon. Polygons are closed shapes made up of line segments. Closed shapes made up of line segments. Triangle is a polygon made up of 3 line segments. Triangle has 3 sides because it is made up of 3 line segments. It has 3 sides, 1, 2 and 3. Side 1, side 2 and then side 3. Now we are going to see the types of triangles based on sides and based on angles. A triangle has 3 sides. This is side 1, side 2, side 3 and this is angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. So a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. Now based on the measure of these 3 sides and 3 angles, we can classify the triangles into 6 types totally. Now first let us see classification based on the sides of the triangle. First type is scalene triangle. Scalene triangle is a triangle which has different measure on all 3 sides. Side 1, side 2, side 3. All 3 are going to be having a different measure. That type of triangle is called as scalene triangle. Now the next type is isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle has any 2 sides equal. Two sides are going to have equal measure and the third side is going to have a different measure. Only 2 of the sides of this triangle is going to have equal measure while the third side is going to have a different measure. This kind of triangle is called isosceles triangle. Next is equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle has all 3 sides going to be equal. If all the 3 sides are going to have an equal measure, that triangle is going to be called as equilateral triangle. Now let us sum up the classification of triangles based on sides. Based on the sides. First type is scalene triangle. All 3 sides are going to be having a different measure. If 2 sides are going to be having the same measure and the third side is going to be the different one, that is called as isosceles triangle. Now equilateral triangle is a triangle in which all 3 sides are going to be having a same measure. Yes. Now let's move on to the next type of classification based on the angles. As we saw earlier, triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. The interior angles inside the triangle are going to be 3 in number. There are 3 interior angles inside a triangle. Now based on the measure of these angles, we are going to classify the triangles into 3 types. First type is going to be acute triangle. Acute triangle or acute angled triangle in which all 3 angles are going to be less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees. All 3 angles are going to be less than 90 degrees. Then that kind of a triangle is called as acute angled triangle or acute triangle. Now the second type is going to be obtuse triangle. Obtuse triangle, only one measure is going to be greater than 90 degree. Only one of the angle is going to be having the measure greater than 90 degree while other 2 angles are going to remain acute. Only one of the angles is going to be greater than 90 degree and the other 2 angles are going to be having the measure lesser than 90 degrees. Those type of triangles are called as obtuse angled triangle or obtuse triangle. Now the next and the last classification is right triangle. Right angle means 90 degrees. Right angle is 90 degrees. So in this kind of triangle, any one of the angle is going to be 90 degrees while the other 2 are going to remain as acute. One of the angle is going to be 90 degrees while the other 2 are going to have measure less than 90 degrees which is acute angle. One of the angle will be right, other 2 angles will remain as acute. This kind of triangle is called as right triangle or right angled triangle. Now let us recap all these types of triangles based on angles. First one is acute angled triangle where all 3 angles are going to be having acute angle. Then the next one is obtuse angled triangle or obtuse triangle. In this, only one of the angle is going to be obtuse while the other 2 are going to remain as acute, less than 90 degrees. Next classification is based on right angle. Right angled triangle or right triangle. Only one of the angle is going to be 90 degree while other 2 are going to be acute which are less than 90 degrees. Thank you.